delighted to be sat here in Hertfordshire talking to Esther Brown in Alabama. Esther has spearheaded the group in Alabama, in Holman, and I wanted to capture and journal some of what she's done because she's a character and a lady that I admire hugely. And well, where to even start, Esther, with what's been going on recently? Where would you like to start?
Well, what happened recently, many people were involved. And I was just, when I wrote to Matt Schultz, who was the attorney, he said it was like Sisyphus pushing a boulder up the hill. And, and everybody was needed. They didn't get a group to do the organizing. Up to now, we were always the ones to do it. And one just has to work with as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And I think the important thing is to keep the egos out of it. That is something I must say I have found in the death penalty, or I always say extreme issues attract extreme people.
Yes.
And that has been my experience for over 40 years. I didn't
40
start
years that you've been doing this work.
Well, no, I was in Florida, and I thought I helped somebody with a Christmas party for death row, and there I met my future husband, and I got him off death row. It took me about 4 years. First of all, we fired his attorney, and he told Willie, he told him, Esther and I are going to make the decision. Gone. He was gone.
Gosh.
So it's a long story. It's a long story. And then I did not found this organization. It was founded in '89 by men on death row who didn't think that they would abolish the death penalty in their time. And they didn't. They're all dead. I came to Alabama because one of them asked me to come and investigate his case because, we made the front page, Willie and I, when he walked out, we got married.
Yeah.
Half an hour down the road. We're an interracial couple, so nothing is, everything is a little different.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I don't speak like an American, so, oh well. But they founded it, and when I came to it, it was kind of done. I said, okay, I will do it for 1 year. And Esther doesn't keep her word. So here she is 26 years later.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could never imagine you having walked away 1 year later.
That's that woman. That's all I could say.
Who were you kidding? Who were you kidding?
So, I think what you are doing is wonderful. And I would say each one is different. But I do think it is great that it is the men. Because that is really, I think, what's so important to empower people. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And we work with whoever. Yeah, I guess that's how it goes.
And
and then there's a saying in German, as you know, I'm half German, half English, completely mixed up, especially if you realize I was born in 1933 and spent the war in Germany. And already I was outspoken. They sent home from school, don't tell Esther to be so outspoken, she's going to get us all arrested. Well, okay, that didn't happen, but I did have an uncle who was involved in the plot against Hitler. So I was always,
right.
Things were a little different.
Yeah.
But you have to go where it is. And you will see. And I was going to say, there's some German saying which says, comes the moment, brings the moment. when the moment comes, you will know which way to go. And it is going to change because of the, I've worked with a few different chairmen. 3 have been executed,
Right.
and um, and each one is different.
Mm,
We
mm,
have certain rules. We hold elections, or they do.
right.
Um, so I think I think I may have sent you that at the beginning. The the format
Hmm.
and whatever it is, and but it's good for them to do it. You know.
Yes. 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 I absolutely hear that, and I'm very much sort of tasking the guys in Mississippi with things that I want them to do, because it's good that they work in sort of small groups. Sometimes it's good that they work in a
Yes,
bigger group together, and it's quite
absolutely.
a good discipline for them to get into, to be able to do that, because I mean, it doesn't always run smoothly, as I'm sure you've had in Alabama. We've had the odd, what's the word for it? Spat, shall I say, where people have been unable to sit at a
Yeah.
table and get anything done. But we get there in the end. We might have to go around the houses, but we do get there in
Yeah.
the end. And it gets easier. They seem to have got more into the sort of vibe of being able to do that.
Hmm. And what I've seen is people come into their own.
Mm,
Not that I want them to be on death row, but seeing that they happen to be there, um, I think people develop,
yeah.
learn, and come into their own and
Mm,
become. I've seen that again and again. I thought that with Anthony Boyd.
mm,
Um, I've seen it with others.
mm,
And as I was just saying that to Bart, who's our current chairman, I feel he has found his vocation.
mm. I mean,
And that,
I honestly believe some of them in Mississippi have actually flourished from doing
yes,
this work.
yes, and
And
that has
as you
been
say, found their sort of vocation and what they sort of should always have been doing, which is invariably creative writing or
mhm,
some sort of journalism, broadcasting, something in politics. There are so many minds in
yeah.
Mississippi that I feel could change, the whole direction of the state if people would only listen.
For me, um, one could be involved in any issue. That may seem a little strange, but for me, I've always said it's the face I see.
Mm,
That is what matters to me.
mm,
Um, I can't change Alabama. Yes, we will be out there, and I've got to do whatever I can, and they have to help me and connect with
mm,
the right people. But um, the person matters to me, the
yeah,
face I see,
yeah.
and
Exactly.
that's just
How
where I come
many,
from.
can I ask you, Esther, how many executions have you witnessed throughout the years?
Oh, I can't even remember. I haven't counted them
Right. It's
many
literally
because
that
I
many.
just saw that Ivy has, before that. Um, and I also belong to the NAACP,
Hmm.
and I'm the chair for the Death Penalty Moratorium Committee. So usually when a new governor comes in, they sit down eventually with a small group, and because I'm a chair of the committee, I
Mm,
go. And each time I nail them. So for example, um, to one of them, I said, remember what Shakespeare said, the quality of mercy is not strained? He said, we don't do Shakespeare in Alabama. Actually, they do have a Shakespeare festival. So I said, well, how about he among you is without sin? He turned around and walked away. He got kicked out a month or so later because he was having an affair with his secretary.
oh dear.
So,
Oh
oh,
dear.
and with Ivy, I managed to get her in a corner, and she said, "Oh, but they have so many appeals." And I said, "Yes, and they can be time barred." But I asked them, I put them on the spot, and then with
Mm.
one of them, he said he would never grant clemency, and he can't say that because um, that is one of the not duties. They don't have to, but they can. But to
But they
say
have
that
the option. Yeah. Yeah.
we were going to sue him. I'd already talked to the federal defenders. I had the witnesses who sat at the table, but then you got kicked out. But um, no, I'm not going to change Alabama.
Mm.
And the men didn't think it would be abolished in a lifetime. But we can get the word out there. And
Mm.
meanwhile, we're making a difference in people's
Yeah.
lives.
And you've actually just had a huge win with with Sonny Burton. I
Yeah.
mean, it seems to me it's a travesty that he would even need to remain in prison at 75 years old, in a wheelchair, declining health. I'm not sure that anybody in the state of Alabama would be less safe if he was allowed to go home.
Oh,
But
they'd
this,
be angry. Already the Attorney General is angry.
mm,
And I don't think she can do more than commute a sentence.
mm,
And at the same time, I look at the good side of it. He's no longer at home. And not that the other prisons are any good, but he's more in a prison where they take care of sick people.
right.
His family can visit him, and I'm thinking, what if he were to come out?
Mm,
Um, we are not a very advanced country. I hope somebody's listening. And he
yeah,
would
I
pay
mean,
for his health care.
mm,
I
yeah,
don't know. None of my business, but he is alive. And
mm,
yeah, he
no,
did have
well, I mean,
ICU that night, as
it's
I heard from his attorney. Yeah.
it's been a remarkable story, and it's such a relief that for a split second there actually was a bit of good news with obviously what's going on in Florida at the moment.
It's another sick
That
state.
that's sort of beyond belief, really. That DeSantis is just signing every few weeks and
Mhm.
on course, by the looks of it, to execute more this year than he did last, but prior to him
Yeah.
leaving office.
Now, last year we were number one for
Yeah,
execution in
yeah.
Alabama, and we're a whole lot smaller state than Florida.
Mm,
So that's important to the Attorney General who
mm,
wants to become the senator,
mm,
going
mm.
to be running for that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's we had two obviously in two executions in Mississippi, and we've been looking closely at the sort of the exonerees from Mississippi. I mean, if you have three exonerees within within a 4-year period, you would
yeah.
think that the state would sort of press a big pause button and think perhaps they might need an inquiry to understand why so many mistakes are being made, but they don't. It's very seems very bizarre to me, but it just seems to be the way they carry on with stuff. So the exoneree stories are crazy. Um, and also the decline of some of these men who are on death row, the aging prison population and level of sickness, is of real concern as to how this moves ahead. But I don't know about you, any interest in America to stop this sort of policy of mass incarceration of people.
Well, first of all, money talks and bullshit walks. Okay, I said that once on the
Mm,
radio, and that was terrible. And I said it's discrimination against the poor. You can say rape, murder, everything, but you can't say that. But anyway,
mm,
um, in over 40 years, I never met a rich one. So
mm,
that's the problem, you know. Um, and then we're in the Bible Belt, and
mm,
all these wonderful Christians, they run to church on Sunday, and then on Tuesday they kill somebody.
mm. Yes,
Um,
the hypocrisy is
I
stark.
have to be careful. I'm obviously not from the South. I've lived in the North and so
Mm,
on, but backward, backward, backward. But I thought I heard that some people in England are talking about the death penalty.
We have a collection of far right.
Mhm.
I'm going to use the word lunatics because they really are, that would bring back the death penalty if they thought they possibly could. They would probably even make it a public spectacle. And thankfully, they're a minority, and I don't see any return to that here. But we do have these people, and they do
Yes.
often.
Yeah.
They often represent as people of faith too. It does seem bizarre to me that these people are all apparently pro-life and pro-death. I'm not really sure how they get to that. I can't see that it's possible to be both, but that's
Yeah.
where we are with these sorts of people.
The pendulum swings to the left and then swings to the right.
Mm.
I wish it would kind of hang in there in the middle. That might be better for people. I don't know.
I agree. I wish we could just find something a bit central and stop, make a move away from any of the extremes. I mean, the politics obviously in America at the moment is extreme. I'm not sure people that actually voted for it perhaps really thought this was what they would get, but I don't know. It's a very sorry situation, though.
Yes, it is.
And it's difficult.
Will it get better? I don't know. Does it have to get worse before it gets better?
I mean, I hope not, but it's the thought is there. And as to how do you see yourself, sort of 40 years down the line in this? How do you see? Will you just keep on and on? Or, you have no intentions to give up?
I'm going to be 93 in May, right?
Incredible.
At the moment, as long as I can still do it, I'm going to do it because I don't know. At the moment, somebody has come in who is wonderful and who is helping Ronald Wires. And I'm very grateful for that because the one thing is that I've found, and then I've got a very good friend who does our website. And he used to be in Alabama, and when he went to South Carolina, he took us with him, which I'm very, very thankful for. It's I will do it as long as I feel I'm making a difference.
Yeah, no, that's marvelous. That is marvelous.
And I want to say it's good for me because I think one of the secrets in life, and I'm old, so I think I know everything, is to discover what is important to one and what matters. And it is always, I get so much back, and that's I always want people to, if they don't feel they're getting something back, don't do it. You're in for the wrong reason. But
yeah, your heart has to be in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That I can make a difference. If I talked to one of the guys, and then he says, "Oh well, I always do better when I talk to you." That's a gift.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It is wonderful to hear.
That's the kind of thing, So yes, I will do it most probably until I live by myself. I take care of myself. I drive. Yeah. Of course, I've got my health problems. Absolutely.
But you power on. And what would you say, Esther, to people, sort of the younger people, and certainly a lot younger than me too, that are coming into this and campaigning as abolitionists and maybe, writing to people on death row, befriending them? What would you say to them about your experiences? Things they should maybe look out for, or?
I don't know. One thing I've always believed, you can't walk away from people who can't walk away from you.
Oh, that's a very good point.
And don't come into it, because I have had a few volunteers along the way. One of them messed up our Facebook page that it has in Alabama because I couldn't get to, he was gone and he couldn't remember how he'd set it up, um, I'm a little careful with people. Show me first, and
Mm.
in and out doesn't help, makes it worse.
Yes, yes. Fleeting friendship is brutal for these people.
Mhm.
And I've always said these are, sort of, as far as I'm concerned, friendships for life. And actually, I mean, much to the uh, I mean, my parents absolutely loathe tattoos. And to show these guys my commitment, I am quite heavily tattooed on my hands with people's initials, because I said to them, I'm going to literally put them on my hands so that I'm never going to walk away from you. How could I when I have you inked onto my hands for everyone to see? Um, uh, as I said, my mum and dad wish I could have come up with another way to express that, but I
Yeah,
didn't.
no tattoos for me. I don't like them.
So
No,
it's
so
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 nice
it,
talking to you, Esther, and I really admire you. I think you've put up such a fight in Alabama, and you've been so central to it. And I really commend you for all you've done. Wonderful character, and I'm delighted to know you and to be able to talk to you about all of this.
and it's wonderful that we could do it just like that.
Yes, off the cuff, perfect.
Probably
Yeah.
because then the other days I get phone calls, not always at the
Yes,
exact same
not
time,
always at
and
the right time. Yeah, yeah.
and right now, somebody will call, but he'll call a little later.
Mm.
I still have to hear from one of my daughters because I do have three children. I'm a grandmother, a great grandmother.
Oh, amazing. Are they in America, your family?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. My first husband was American. I always say I came to America to see whether I liked it. I hated it, and so I stayed. Yeah, and,
You
three children.
you've
There's one
committed
in Rhode
yourself.
Island, one in Wyoming, and one in Washington State. So
Right.
we are all in different
Yeah,
time zones, and then there are
yeah.
grandchildren, six grandchildren, and there are three great grandchildren, and two more coming this year.
Oh,
So,
amazing. Oh, that is incredible. Yeah, that's lovely. I'm so pleased for you. That's so
and the
lovely.
wonderful thing is, um, some of them have been involved from the beginning with me. Um, Two of my granddaughters, I remember uh, getting an envelope. There were a whole lot of coins in it, was half broken, and it was her pocket money she sent to me for the guys, and the guys know about them. One of them is an attorney, and she's working not with the death penalty, but she's at Washington State. They don't have that.
Mm,
She's working with homeless people, people getting kicked out.
God,
And she always says that
wonderful.
her Uncle Willie, who she loved dearly, and myself are her inspiration. So it's sort of gone on through.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
yeah,
that is wonderful, Esther. That's
yeah.
wonderful, and rightfully so. Wonderful.
And now about you. Now I've got to know about you.
About me. I um I read a book about the death penalty when I was about 20, and it really resonated with me. And I was deeply shocked uh, by the stories that I read. And I couldn't believe that this sort of, this country that is perceived as a leading sort of country within the world would still have such a regressive system. And our boys are 21, 23 now. And 4, 5 years ago, I decided I would start writing to people on death row. And I started with a guy in Florida who, him and I speak Monday to Friday every day. He has zero family left. And a guy also in North Carolina who has very limited contact outside of the prison there. And then I got in touch with Mississippi through a pen pal program, and I just sat down and thought to myself, I could do so much more for these guys than just offer a sort of a pen pal service. So we started this advocacy group last August, and I mean, it's absolutely sort of picked itself up and run. We applied to be to be members of the World Coalition Against the Death Penalty, and we've been accepted into that group. And we have, as you know, sort of hours and hours of all this video footage that nobody else seems to be able to get in the way that we can. So, you know, I thank hugely the Department of Corrections for that. And I
Yes.
just think it is making a big difference to, as we discussed earlier, some of these guys are literally flourishing with being able to do this stuff and finding real purpose in their day-to-day existence.
Yeah. And you know, another important aspect of the organization is that I brought this saying with me from Florida: your attorney is as good as you make him or her. And you know, this is where they can see what's going on, what's going, what appeal is helpful, what issue, and so on. And so they also have classes for that to get together on, you know, and because that is really, really, really important.
Yeah.
In Alabama, we only have a right, the state only provides an attorney for the direct appeal, and the attorneys they provide are very often not great.
Yeah.
For example, one very dear friend of mine whose case I investigated, and he was innocent, and I found stuff that could have been tested, and got the innocent party involved, and we couldn't get permission. They killed him. Grayson, he had a divorce attorney. Well, that's not exactly the same.
It's not the background, is it, that you need to fight one of these cases?
And then after that, it has to be pro bono. So a lot of the attorneys are out of state where they don't have the death penalty. It's only in the South that we have the death penalty.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And attorney was in Boston. His first attorney was great. Unfortunately, he had a car crash and got killed, and then the others took over. You know, and then another dear friend, I think in Michigan or somewhere. You know, I'm not saying they're all bad, but it's not the same as having an attorney.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know, we have Joseph, who features a lot on all of our social media. Joseph is the guy in Mississippi who's had his book published, you know, a book written with pencil and paper from inside death row. The image that they had painted, it's a marvelous collective of all his short stories and poems. And he actually read through one of the exonerees' cases. He read through Sherwood Brown's case and found the hole in the case that actually removed Sherwood from death row.
Yeah.
So it is amazing how self-sufficient these guys can be.
Yeah. No, jailhouse attorneys, you know, they would definitely have their place.
Yeah.
And then
Thank
one
you
has
so
to be
much,
careful,
Esther.
You know, I think that, what is that saying? You don't get rid of dirty water before you have clean. So you have to be diplomatic. You have to be careful. Yeah.
No, there's a long road, but I don't know. I'm sure you feel the same. I actually think campaigning is a very cathartic experience. I feel cleaner when I've spent a good day campaigning because I feel I've got lots off of my chest and vented. I've got it all out there. So I always feel good after a good day's work campaigning on anything. Yeah. Good to talk, Esther.
You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you. And thank you to you. You've done an incredible job and are continuing to do so. And thank you for your time.
No, and thank you. This was just what I needed.
Perfect.